On page 417 and 418, we are now going to write an equation of a line when we are given 2 points. So again, we will not use point-slope form. We're going to use our regular slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b. So we need to know a slope and we need to know a y-intercept. For these, we won't know either. We're going to know 2 ordered pairs. So again, I'm going to write the steps over on the side and do number 1 at the same time. But you do need to remember our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You will do that for your first step. Okay, so step 1 is to calculate the slope. And again, you do that with your slope formula. So for number 1, again, it doesn't matter what order you do the y's in. I'll start over here with -1 since that would technically be y2. So -1 minus 7 over 1 minus -3. That would give us -8 over +4, which is -2. So now my slope is -2. After this point, it is exactly the same as what we did on pages 413 and 414. We know, or I'm sorry, 415 and 416. We now know the slope, and we know not 1, but 2 ordered pairs. So you will just pick an ordered pair and repeat the process that we did in our last set of notes. So step 2 is pick an ordered pair. And you're going to plug x, y, and m that you just calculated into y equals mx plus b. So there's really only one extra step from the previous set of notes, and that is first you have to calculate your slope. So I personally am going to pick the 1, -1. Smaller numbers, so it should be easier to work with. Again, you should get the same answer at the end no matter which ordered pair you use. So my y is -1 equals, my slope we just calculated was -2 times my x, which is 1, plus b. So once I plug it in, step 3 is to solve for b. Again, this will always be the same steps. You have to multiply first and then add or subtract to get b by itself. So -1 equals, when I multiply, I get -2 plus b. Then I need to add 2, so b is +1. So then step 4 is to plug in m and b into y equals mx plus b. So your final answer again is going to be the equation y equals mx plus b, but you're going to have your m and your b filled in. You do not use your ordered pair again. So final answer for number 1 is y equals -2x plus 1. All right, so let's move on to number 3. Again, step 1 is to calculate the slope. So m equals -6 minus -1 over 4 minus 2. So that would give me -5 over 2. I would pick this ordered pair because it has a little bit smaller numbers. So y is -1 equals, we just calculated our slope of -5 over 2 times 2 plus b. So we multiply to get -1 equals -5 plus b. Then we add 5 to get b equals 4. So your final answer, your equation, is y equals -5 halves x, -5 halves x plus 4. If you want to check your answer, you could either graph this equation that you just wrote and make sure it goes through both sets of ordered pairs. You could also graph your two ordered pairs and connect them with a line and make sure that that line actually does match that equation. So there's a couple different ways you could go about it. Number 5, start with your slope. M equals -5 minus 1 over 0 minus -8. That would give us -6 over +8, which is -3/4. Now you might realize that, oh, that's my y-intercept. 0 for the x just means I'm going down 5, so that's my y-intercept. So if you recognize that, you wouldn't have to do all of the work. Let's say we don't recognize it, then we would have -5 equals -3/4 times 0 plus b. Again, anything times 0 is 0, so b equals -5. So your final answer is y equals -3/4 x minus 5. Whenever you feel comfortable, go ahead and pause and come back and check your answers. For 7, 2 minus -14 over 3 minus -9. So that gives us 16 over 12, which simplifies to 4/3. Okay, remember we always need to simplify our fractions. I would use 3, 2. They're both positive and they're both smaller. So 2 equals 4/3 times 3 plus b. Multiply, 2 equals 4 plus b. Subtract 4, b equals -2. So y equals 4/3 x minus 2 is your final answer. Number 9, I would start with m equals 2 minus 7 over 6 minus -4. That would give us -5 over 10, which is -1/2. I'm going to use 6, 2 for my ordered pair. So 2 equals -1/2 times 6 plus b. So multiply, 2 equals -3 plus b. So then we need to add 3 and get b equals 5. So our final answer is y equals -1/2 x plus 5. For 11, m equals 2 minus -1 over 0 minus 4. That gives us 3 over -4, so you might want to write that as -3/4. It's up to you. We usually don't like to have the negative in the denominator. So again, maybe you recognize that's your y-intercept, so you can write your equation right away. If not, you're going to have 2 equals -3/4 times 0 plus b, so that goes away, b equals 2. So your final answer, y equals -3/4 x plus 2. Again, when writing your final answer, make sure your negative sign is either up with a 3 or out in front of the fraction bar. And finally 13, m equals -1 minus -5 over 2 minus 3. So that would give us 4 over -1, which is just -4. I'm going to use this one because it's a little smaller. -1 equals -4 times 2 plus b. -1 equals -8 plus b. Add 8 to get b equals 7. So our final answer is y equals -4x plus 7. Again, if you want to check, you can either graph the line you just wrote and make sure it goes through the two ordered pairs, or you can graph your two ordered pairs and connect them and make sure it really is the line y equals -4x plus 7.